The chilling case of the midnight caller, 18 years and still unsolved. He called, then she disappeared. It was a quiet evening in the small town of Cedar Springs, a town where everyone knew everyone, or at least they thought they did. At 11:47 p.m., the phone rang in the home of 27-year-old Sandra Brandson. The call lasted less than 2 minutes. No one knows what was said on that call, but what we do know is that it was the last time anyone ever heard from Sandra alive. What happened that night has baffled investigators for nearly 2 decades. Was it a kidnapping, a lover's revenge, or something even darker? Tonight, we dig deep into the chilling case of the midnight caller. Sandra Brandson wasn't the type of person to make enemies. She worked as a nurse at Cedar Springs General Hospital and was loved by her patients. On April 14, 2007, Sandra finished her night shift around 11:30 p.m. Surveillance cameras showed her leaving the hospital parking lot, driving her blue Honda Civic toward her home just 3 miles away. Neighbors recall seeing her car pull into the driveway at exactly 11:41 p.m. That matches the timestamp on a security camera across the street. Everything seemed normal until that phone call came. At 11:47 p.m., Sandra's landline received a call from a blocked number. The phone records confirmed the duration, 1 minute and 52 seconds. After that, silence. Sandra's friends would later say she sounded calm, maybe a little distracted, earlier that evening. But nobody knows what detectives looked into Sandra's personal life. She was recently single after ending a 3-year relationship with her boyfriend, Mark Benson. By all accounts, the breakup was civil, but Mar was said in that call. The next morning, Sandra's car was still in the driveway. Her front door was wide open. Inside, police found her purse on the kitchen counter, her keys next to it, and a half-empty cup of tea still warm. There were no signs of forced entry, no broken windows, no struggle. It was as if Sandra just walked out into the night and vanished. Detectives started with the obvious questions. Who called her? What could have lured Sandra out at midnight? They subpoenaed phone records, but the call came from a prepaid burner phone purchased just 2 days before. No fingerprints, no surveillance, nothing. The number was never used again. But was it? Or was someone stalking her? I had an alibi that night. He was out drinking with friends, confirmed by multiple witnesses and security cameras. Forensic teams combed through Sandra's house. No DNA, no footprints, no signs of violence. Then came the first real break, or what they thought was a break. 2 weeks after Sandra vanished, a local hiker found something buried near the riverbank. A cell phone, wrapped in plastic. It wasn't Sandra's phone, but when police checked the call logs, the last number dialed was Sandra's landline. The same night she disappeared. The phone had no fingerprints, no useful data, just that one call. Detectives were now certain. Whoever made that call lured Sandra out. But why? And where did she go? With no body, no ransom note, and no obvious suspects, the case spiraled into theories. Some believed Sandra left voluntarily, that she was hiding from someone or something. But her bank accounts remained untouched. Her car, her wallet, even her ID, all left behind. If she ran, she didn't plan it. Others suspected a serial offender. At the time, 2 other women in neighboring counties had gone missing under similar circumstances. Late-night disappearances, no forced entry, no trace. Could Cedar Springs have had a predator lurking in the shadows? Investigators compared the cases, but there were no direct connections until they reviewed security footage from a gas station 2 miles from Sandra's home. At 12:06 a.m., less than 20 minutes after the mysterious call, a dark pickup truck was seen idling near the station. The driver wore a baseball cap, face obscured by the camera angle. The truck had no license plate visible. That truck was never found. Then came an even stranger twist. 3 months after Sandra vanished, her parents received a letter in the mail. No return address. The message was typed on a sheet of paper, and it read, "Stop looking for her. She's gone. Forever." The envelope had no prints, no DNA. Just like the phone. Another dead end. Years passed. Leads dried up. Sandra Brandson became another cold case. Until 2018, 11 years after her disappearance. A construction crew digging near an abandoned cabin, just 6 miles from Sandra's home, unearthed a shallow grave. Inside, they found human remains, wrapped in what used to be a nurse's uniform. DNA confirmed what everyone feared. Sandra Brandson had been murdered. Cause of death? Blunt force trauma to the skull. But that wasn't the most disturbing part. Near her remains was a metal dog tag, engraved with the name Mark Benson, her ex-boyfriend. Police immediately reopened the case. Mark insisted he was innocent, claiming the dog tag was from when he served in the military and that Sandra kept it after the breakup. But then investigators found something chilling. Mark had purchased a prepaid phone 2 days before Sandra vanished. The same day the midnight caller's phone was bought. That detail was missed in the original investigation. Suddenly, the man who seemed innocent became the prime suspect. But here's the problem. Mark died in a car accident in 2014. If he was guilty, justice would never be served. If he wasn't, then Sandra's killer is still out there. To this day, questions remain. Did Mark lure Sandra out that night? Or did someone else plant that dog tag to frame him? The Midnight Caller case remains one of Cedar Springs' darkest mysteries. A haunting reminder that evil often hides in plain sight. What do you think happened to Sandra Brandson? Was it Mark, a stranger, or something even more sinister? Share your thoughts in the comments. And remember, always be careful who you trust, because sometimes the last voice you hear could be the one that takes your life. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe for more chilling cases.